Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Nitrostorm here, welcome back to Revive the Witch. So again, new week, broken land. So this is week 6 or week 2 of the bi-weekly rotation. Without further ado, let's get started with area 1. So enemy info, we've got these fireball lava things again, and they normally do damage to the frontline unit. So it's good to have a tanky frontliner, and they deal magic damage. So of course, build your character based on magic defense so you can tank these guys better. So the team that we're going to be using is Yurugu, Vil, and Suzerni. And then the auto option, the auto mode that we're going to be using is free mode auto. So let's take a look at their builds first. So as you can see from my Yurugu, she's up front. And then this is tanky enough. The stats that you see right now is tanky enough to tank the enemies just a little bit. And then she will get eliminated, but it's enough time for Avil to be prepped with the Order and Chaos. And speaking of Avil, these are his stats. So you can build him a little, like less invested. Just up to the second skill is alright. And then these are his stats. We're mainly focusing on his second skill. And then last but not least, we have Suzerni. As you can see, she is Ascend 1. And you don't need to raise her as well. We're actually only using her first skill, so keep that in mind. And then these are her stats. You don't actually need any gear on her, but having more attack means she will heal more, which is pretty nice. So let's take a look at this in action. So of course, we will be putting these three in this specific order. And then once the game starts, make sure you set Avil to S2 and Suzerni to S1. Like this. And then make sure during Arcana Burst, make sure you set Avil to S2 right away. And then watch it unfold. There you go. And that's pretty much about it for the first area. Relatively straightforward. Make sure you keep tapping on Avil's S2, because during Arcana Burst, it will switch to like a new selection. And then the default selection is S1. So be sure to set it right away to S2, so your Avil doesn't get destroyed by the enemies because he didn't stun them. And that's about it for area 1. Alright, so area 2, let's take a look at the enemy. So we're going to be fighting this Gigas Magmon, and there's going to be 2 of them. And if you take a look at the attacks here, they do magic damage attack and a physical damage attack. And from fighting this guy, they will deal more physical damage than magic damage. So if you focus on increasing your physical defense on your front line or tank, then they should be able to survive. So I'm going to change things up this time, and I'm going to be using Setes, Primula, and last but not least, we have Acheronte. So this is going to be the team. Make sure that your settings are on free auto, and let's take a look at their stats. So first off, let's take a look at Setes. Now I know what you're thinking right off the bat. I've got a full set of legendary gear, but at the same time, she is only Ascend 1. So to get these stats, like 30k HP and 2.5k defense, I think you'll want to have her maybe high level Ascend 2 / low level Ascend 3, something like that. In terms of her skills, no need to invest at all, because she's only going to be at the front just to take hits. Next up, we have Primula. I chose to use her because she has a second skill, a chaos skill that heals everyone. And so I'm going to be using this for sustain. I know she also has some legendary gear, but to get these stats that Primula has right now, I think you can get this at high level Ascend 2. Or maybe low level Ascend 3. And then last but not least, we have Acheronte. So I know I have her Ascend 4, but I think you can do this at Ascend 3 and no evolution. And then these are her stats. As you can see, our main DPS is only using purple gear. So without further ado, let's see this team in action. The first thing that we're going to be doing is, when the battle starts, make sure you set first skill to Acheronte and second skill to Primula. And that's about it. So I think, we will put Acheronte in the middle and Primula at the back. And then on auto, make sure you set Acheronte S1, Primula S2 like this. And then watch it unfold. As you can see, they're kind of tanky right now, but we should be able to survive. You know, just enough for the Arcana Burst. And then, once it unfolds, we should be golden. So as you can see, it was very close. And it can be sorted by having a better healer, or a better tank, or having the more stats. You know, increasing the skill level of Primula, so her second skill will heal more because it's only at level 1. But as you can see there, you know, it was pretty straightforward. If you have crowd control on your DPS, then that should be fine as well. Like for example, maybe perhaps Mikoto S1 and Pakane S2, for example. But yeah, that's about it for Area 2. Alright, so Area 3. First things first, the enemy info. So we're gonna be fighting one guy, a Wildfire Magman. This guy's pretty big though, and he will do big damage. And if you take a look at his skills, you can see that he does magic damage a little bit, and then I'd say he does more physical damage than magic damage. So again, if you build your characters based on physical defense, you should be able to tank them much better. So without further ado, let's take a look at the team. So again, I've changed things up this time. I know that not everyone may have Luan, so I tried making this comp. So we have the Witch up front. You just make her as tanky as possible. And then we have Yui second. So she is free to play, you know, arguably, because everyone can eventually obtain her. That's why I put her here. Unlike Luan, where you either have to pay that first purchase bonus, or you know, get lucky and pull her when summoning. And then last but not least, we have for the third slot, Sinesha. So again, we're still keeping our auto settings on free mode, and there's going to be a little bit more work this time in terms of pulling this off. But first things first, take a look at the characters. We have Witch here. I should probably ascend her eventually once I finish story, but make her as tanky as possible. As you can see, I've built her on physical defense, and that's pretty much about it. In terms of skills, we're going to be using time freeze on her, so be sure to have that equipped. Next up, we have Yui. So as you can see, the whole team is Ascent 3, but if you have them Ascent 4, this stage is going to be much easier. So I do have a legendary equipment on her, but I don't think it's a big deal. So you know what, let's just change. So this is Yui, this is her gear. You know, I've raised her up to passive level 1. And then these are her equipment, again, focused on physical defense. And then last but not least, we have Sinesha, again, raised until first level passive. And these are her stats. So we're not going to be actually using Yui's first skill. We might, but I don't think we will. In any case, let's take a look at this team in action. So it's going to be a little bit, you know, more manual play, because the first thing that we're going to do is have Yui transform. But first things first, do this. There you go, Witch, Yui, Sinesha. So we're actually going to use Sinesha's first skill. So at the start, Sinesha first skill, Yui second skill, and then after Yui transforms, you do Yui first skill, and then Witch second skill. So first things first, you do this. Right? And then after she transforms... Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, we'll do this first, we'll do this. Sinesha S1, and then time stop. And then during burst, we'll do this. Okay, there you go. Okay, pretty scary stuff right now. I know it's hard for me to speak right now, but I think Sinesha S2 is definitely helpful here. So we're only using Yui during burst. I think that's the important thing to do. Don't use Yui outside of Arcana burst. Just keep S1 at Sinesha, and then S2 on Witch, and then during Arcana burst, you know, just let it go. Keep S2 on Witch. And then just keep it going like this. So my plan actually failed, and then I switched up during the battle. But hopefully, now that I've explained what I'm doing, it should be simple for you guys to do. So all you have to do at the start is Sinesha S1, Yui S2, and then after Yui transforms, Sinesha S1, Witch S2, and then during Arcana Burst, switch it to Witch S2. And there we go, guys. Pretty nice. So, to make that easier for you guys, just make your Witch even tankier or give your Sinesha more attack so she can heal more, you know, heal Witch back up to full. But yeah, that's about it for Area 3. Alright guys, so another week of Broken Lands, again with free-to-play characters. This time I've improved on it even more with Area 3 especially, because this time I didn't just simply use solo Luan. This time every single team now is, you know, completely free to play. And of course, in Area 2, just in case you don't have Acheronte, I've mentioned a alternative earlier. I mentioned an alternative, which was instead of Primula and Acheronte, you would use Mikoto for her first skill and Pakane for her second skill. And then you keep the front line the same because all you want is a tanky frontliner, and that's about it. In any case, if you've been following this video up until this point, then Area 4 should be the easiest one for you to do, as we now have, you know, basically every single option you can ever imagine. We didn't use a single UR, not to mention we also only used free-to-play characters. So for example, farmable SSRs, free SSRs, or SR and below characters. In any case, let's take a look at Area 4. So, enemy info, we've got this guy, Wildfire Monster. The majority of his attacks are physical damage. Be wary of this skill called Trample. It is an AoE physical damage attack which does very big damage, so I would highly recommend having Ascent 4s in your team, or, you know, lots of strong regeneration type healing to be able to sustain yourself against his attacks so you don't actually get wiped. But in any case, for this example, we're going to be using one UR. I will try to improve on this if I've got the spare stamina to raise a new team for this. But in this video, we're going to be using Toenail up front with Lacrima second, and then lastly Ushpia third. So yet again, we're going to be using for auto settings, free mode auto, and let's take a look at the builds. So first off, we have Toenail. Again, as you can see, I've focused on physical defense. I do have her raised to Ascent 2. I think with this, you don't need legendary gear if you have her at Ascent 2. At passive level 2, you don't need legendary gear because of her chaos regen, but these are her stats. Next up, we have Lacrima. As you can see, she is only Ascent 3, so she might be a bit on the squishy side. As you can see, I don't even have her raised to passive level 1. Just minimum skill, first skill level 2, so that she can heal Toenail much more efficiently, and these are her stats. And last but not least, we have Ushpia. So we have her up until passive level 1, just so we have that bit of stun to, you know, stun the enemy just a little bit, you know, interrupt. And then these are her stats. So of course, if you guys got them at Ascent 4, then it's going to be much easier for you to complete Area 4. But with the current setup that I have, there's going to be a bit of RNG in terms of the attacks that the enemy will do. If the enemy does too many tramples at once, then my team's going to get wiped. So I'm going to have to, you know, restart the stage and, you know, hope for the best. So in terms of free auto settings, we do S1 on Lacrima, second skill on Ushpia. And then essentially what we do here is that, make sure you set S2 on Ushpia, and then basically what you do is just watch after you've finished setting it up. So S1 Lacrima, second skill Ushpia, and then after this you basically pray that you don't get trampled and stuff, and then yeah. So as you can see, the passive level 2 on Toenail definitely made a big difference here. As you can see, the battle was very consistent. And there you have it. So I think I'll count this as no legendary equipment. Now, obviously, I know on the second stage, second area, it's mainly because the characters that I use will only Ascend 1, and it's highly recommended for those characters to be like high level Ascend 3, or like, no, hey, high level, like around Ascend 3 to be able to do this. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Area 4. So for Area 4, I just gave an example team that you can use. So I tried to use as little URs as possible. So in total, I've used 3 gacha characters. So Ushpia, Lacrima, and Tonel. But that is Area 4. Because, you know, I've done Area 1, Area 2, Area 3 normal, and Area 4 is your best team. So pretty straightforward stuff. So hopefully this helped you guys. You know, in my opinion, I think this is an improvement to the last time I did week 2 of the bi-weekly rotation Broken Lands. This time I didn't do solo Luan, who is a gacha character unless you spend first purchase bonus. And so this time it's more free to play friendly. Now I do understand that getting Yui might be a little bit time gated, but the alternative for this is Luan solo anyway. In any case, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you guys got any more questions, please do let me know down in the comments below. It's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.